Hey everybody, I'm Ted Prodromou. Welcome to 4 Steps to LinkedIn Success. Now I'm assuming you have a LinkedIn account and that's why you're watching this video. You really want to figure out how I can use LinkedIn to grow my business or to get more business or to find a job or really kind of find out what the buzz is with LinkedIn. Because in the past couple of years, LinkedIn has really taken off. It's evolved into the largest business professional networking site. So you need to figure out how to use this. And let me show you how. Have you ever landed a new client from LinkedIn? Now, I ask all my students and clients this, and the majority just say, no, I've never landed a client or gotten any business from LinkedIn. If you have gotten business, congratulations. You know how to network. You know how to use LinkedIn. You're probably just killing it because probably 90% of people don't use LinkedIn properly. So I'm going to show you today how you can use LinkedIn in 15 to 30 minutes a day. And really, if you're looking for a job, help you find a job. If you're looking to get more clients, I'll show you how to get more clients in really 15 to 30 minutes a day. It's the most incredible, powerful business tool there is right now. So I'm going to show you how to really embrace it. Here's a recent tweet to me. I'm not making this up. This really came through a couple weeks ago. I've given up on LinkedIn. In 10 years, not one person offered me a job or consulting opportunity. Sorry, folks, this is a wake-up call for you. You really, just by creating a LinkedIn account, people aren't going to pick up the phone and call you and offer you jobs, or they're not going to offer you consulting opportunities. And it does happen. I've had people actually call me from my LinkedIn profile, but it's like going to a networking event or a conference and standing in the corner and not talking to anybody. If you're not active at that conference, meeting people, getting to know people and building relationships, nothing's going to happen. You're going to go home with maybe a couple business cards, but probably nothing. And you're going to say, that was the worst conference I was ever at, or the worst networking events. You need to learn how to engage with people and build relationships. That's why you're successful on LinkedIn. So here's the biggest complaint I hear. I do not have time for LinkedIn. I'm too busy. I have this going on. I have that going on. I've got to take the kids to soccer practice. I've got 10 meetings a day. I work 12 hours a day. I'm going to show you why you have to use LinkedIn. You have to make time, at least 15 minutes a day, because it's your professional presence. People are coming to LinkedIn and looking at your profile before they do business with you. So you need to make time to optimize your LinkedIn profile, and you really need to engage with people and be active. And really, I'm not kidding. It really only takes 15 to 30 minutes a day. So I'm on LinkedIn, but I have no idea what to do next. This is a great sign here. I'm lost, I'm confused, I'm unsure, and it's not your fault. LinkedIn is horrible about explaining their new features and the power of LinkedIn. When LinkedIn started years ago, they were just a resume site. We posted our online profile, basically our business history, where we went to school, what positions we've held, what companies we worked for, and that's all there was to it. Then they added answers. So over the years, it's evolved into a more interactive site. But most people just see it as a resume site. Say, I'm not looking for a job, so I don't need to be on LinkedIn. But it's become the most powerful business tool out there right now. If you're in sales, marketing, if you're just trying to grow your business, if you're an individual business owner, LinkedIn it's the golden goose. Everybody's using LinkedIn now that gets it. And now's the time for you to get it and get ahead of your competitors. First, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm the author of Ultimate Guide to Twitter for Business and Ultimate Guide to LinkedIn for Business, first and second edition. I'm a frequent contributor to Entrepreneur.com and Entrepreneur Magazine. Because I was on LinkedIn, I wrote the LinkedIn and Twitter books. I was actually approached by the New York Times last year, and they asked me if I'd like to contribute about an article about using LinkedIn to find a job. This is all because I was on LinkedIn. They found me there and invited me to participate in this article, so it was a great honor to be included in the New York Times. Also, I've been on CNBC. I contributed to this documentary called Twitter Revolution when the producer called me one time when I was on vacation in Lake Tahoe, said, would you like to contribute to this Twitter Revolution documentary we're working on? I said, First, I didn't believe it was CNBC producer, but once we got past that, he interviewed me, and all my content was concluded in this incredible documentary. I also contribute to digitalmarketer.com. It's one of the most largest, it's over 500,000 people subscribe to this blog, and it's the leading source for marketing online information. So let me ask you, what's a new client worth to your business? So if I hired you today, how much would I pay you initially? And how much would I pay you over the time we work together? Will we work together maybe 6 months or a year? Work together maybe 5 years? So what's that number? What would I have to pay you? Is it $10,000? Is it $1,000? Is it $100,000? I have some clients that have only paid me $7 for an ebook, and that's all they've ever paid me. I have other clients that have paid me close to $1 million over the past 4 years, working with them to grow their business. So what's that number for you? Get that number in your mind, because today I'm going to show you what would it be like if you could get one new client a month, or one new client a week, or even one new client a day, depending on your business. Here's another question. Most people can't answer this. How much does it cost to acquire a new client? And I work with individual consultants and authors. I work with very large corporations. And this is a number that most people don't understand this. So if you have a product or service that you earn an average of $10,000 on, so would it be worth spending $1,000 to acquire a new client for a $9,000 profit? I used to work for a software company, and we would get leads for $45 a lead. And those people would turn into $100,000 customers or more. Some were even $1 million customers. So you got to think about how much money you need to invest in your clients to acquire new clients and how much profit you're going to make on that. So if you're making $10,000 per deal, it's worth you spending $1,000 or $2,000, even $3,000 to acquire that client, because you're going to make money in the long run. So today I'm going to show you how to get new clients in LinkedIn for free. And you see the little asterisk next to the free. Nothing in life is free. There's going to be a time commitment involved. And what I'm going to show you today, once you set up this process, you're going to be able to spend 15 to 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn and actually get real results. So grab a pencil, grab some paper, and let's get started. So today's agenda. I'm going to explain why you need to be on LinkedIn. Everybody seems to have a LinkedIn account, but they don't know why they're there. They were invited. They put their resume up there, and they really haven't done anything with LinkedIn. I'm going to show you why you need to be there today. I'm going to talk about the AIDA process. This is my 4-step process based on a very, very old principle that it still works today. I mean, before the internet, before technology, people did business together using AIDA, and that process still works today. Then I'm going to talk about what's next. What's after LinkedIn? What else do we have to do? What do we do once we make contact with people on LinkedIn? How do we turn them into long-time customers? So why LinkedIn? Right now, there's over 370 million LinkedIn members, and they're adding 2 members every second. So LinkedIn is the place to be for business professionals. 68% of business-to-business marketers have acquired a customer through LinkedIn. Now, this is from HubSpot, so it's a very reputable source. And I'm sure this is actually probably 6 to 8 months ago they published this, so I would guess this is over 70% at this point. Here's one of the main reasons you need to be on LinkedIn and have a current profile. 77% of LinkedIn members use the site to research people and companies. This is from Power Formula. So before someone does business with you today, they're going to go to your LinkedIn profile to learn more about you. So you have a complete profile so they get a really good impression of you. 9 out of 10 C-level executives use LinkedIn at least once a week for at least 1 hour. This is from Forbes magazine. And this is about 6 months ago they published this. So everybody says executives don't have time for social media. Executives don't have time for LinkedIn. Yes, they do. This was in Business Insider, And it's a story about Michael Dell, CEO of Dell Computers, one of the top CEOs in the world, wanted to meet an engineer from Cisco. One of the top engineers at Cisco, designed some routers, and he left Cisco and started his own company and designed this proprietary router that actually performs better than Cisco routers. So Michael Dell wanted to meet this person and talk about doing business together. So what did Michael do? He didn't pick up the phone and call him. He didn't try to reach out to his company via phone or email directly. He went to LinkedIn and he emailed this CEO 3 times before the person actually believed it was really Michael Dell. Once he said, "Oh, this is really Michael Dell contacting me through LinkedIn email," they started doing business together. So LinkedIn is very powerful. Executives are using it, and now's the time to start using LinkedIn and learn how to do this messaging. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Over half of B2B buyers use LinkedIn to support their purchase decisions over the past year. And look at this on the right side. The C-level VP executives, 63% of them use LinkedIn to justify their purchases. Here's another reason you need to be on LinkedIn. I prefer to work with vendors that have been recommended by someone else. People want word of mouth referrals. 76% of the people in this IDC survey, and this is from way back in 2014, so I'm sure this is higher now. Imagine you want to go to a new restaurant, you check out a restaurant. You ask your friends, "Hey, what do you think of Joe's Diner?" Or "What do you think of this movie?" When people tell you they love a movie or they love a restaurant or they love a hotel, that's a word of mouth referral. And if you trust that person, you're going to want to do that. You want to take advantage of that. You don't want to read reviews online, or that could be, people just tainted reviews. People want to get information from people they know, like, and trust. So word of mouth referrals go much further than blind introductions. So let me tell you my LinkedIn story. It's been quite an adventurous ride for me. In 1980, I moved from the East Coast. I moved to California, started working in Silicon Valley for a company called Digital. They were the largest mini computer company in the world. In the 1980s, there weren't many computers in the offices yet. It was kind of hard to believe at this point, but I got to fix these computers. They were state-of-the-art little computers that fit into an office environment, and it really changed things. In the past, all there was IBM mainframes, and even then, a very limited number of people had access to them via computers or terminals. So through the 1980s, I worked for Digital, and they started computer networking. They were doing networking before Ethernet and before the internet. So they were connecting computers together to share information long before anybody else was doing it. So when Cellular One started up, I became their first network manager. We had 40 employees in San Francisco, and we had less than 10,000 phone subscribers at the time. If you can imagine that. 8 million people live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and only 10,000 people had cell phones. So in the 7 years I was there, we grew from 40 employees to 1,200 employees, expanded from 2 offices to 42 offices over 6.5 years I was there. So a lot happened. It was like unbelievable experience for me. It was tremendous. And then I went on to work at IBM. I was a consultant for IBM. I'd interview business professionals, executives, get their business vision, and then I would design computer networks for that, and then they would be implemented to meet their business needs. So I've had a great career from 1980 to 2000. It was amazing. Here's some of the computers I was fixing in the 1980s. Our wristwatch is more powerful than these things now, but it was a tremendous experience. Here's when I was working at Cellular One. Telephones were about this size. Most of them were built into your car at the time, but these were the portable cell phones. And I became one of the most recognized network managers in Silicon Valley. I was honored with awards. I was interviewed in magazines, and even this one company, Xyplex, featured me in their annual report. So they went around San Francisco with a professional photographer, took photographs of me all over the place. Here I am overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, it was like unbelievable experience. I was at the top of my game. I was even interviewed by Stephen Covey's company. He had a magazine called Priorities at the time, and it talked about successful people in Silicon Valley that had, I was just starting my family then. I was married and had one child, had another one on the way. So as like the work-life balance, they interviewed me, how's it like to be one of the top professionals in Silicon Valley and be starting your family and trying to juggle work and life and personal life. So I was really at the top of my game. Things were just incredible. In the late 90s, I realized I was working way too much. I was traveling all over the world with IBM, but I had 2 small children at home, and I just wasn't there for them. So I said, I want to start my own consulting business. It was the late 90s when the internet was just starting to take off, and I was in high demand. So I started my own internet consulting business. I was setting up small business networks, connecting companies to the internet, and things were just incredible. Then the dot-com bubble burst. Around 2000, 2001, everything just blew up. Literally over 500,000 people in Silicon Valley alone lost their jobs in the tech industry. So my 20-year career was totally gone, literally gone. Everything was outsourced offshore, or at the time I was charging $150 an hour for my consulting services. And if I could find any consulting work, it was at about $15 an hour. And it was just devastating. I could not go back to my old job, my old network manager job, because all those jobs disappeared, middle management jobs disappeared, and really, I couldn't go back. My safety net was gone. I had to start over from scratch. So I kind of figured out what I wanted to do, just pieced it together. I got certified as a personal coach, and I just couldn't get any business. I thought I loved mentoring people. I had 75 people working for me at Cellular One, and I just loved it. It was my passion. I still love coaching people now and mentoring people. But what happened is I didn't know how to sell or market. And after being in demand for 20 years and people throwing offers at me, I had to learn to market and sell. So I kind of got veered away from my coaching business. I learned internet marketing and search engine optimization. So I was setting up websites, I was doing search engine optimization, online advertising for companies, and things were going great again. Then again, 2008, the economy collapsed. And a lot of the businesses that were paying me to consult literally went out of business. A lot of large companies went out of business at this time. So it was another devastating setback for my career. And then in 2009, I applied for a job on Craigslist. It was a local software company. Actually, they were based in Copenhagen, but they had an office just a few miles from my house, north of San Francisco. So I sent in my resume, which I had done hundreds of times in the past on Craigslist ads, and I never heard back from any of them. Then never heard an acknowledgement that they ever received it. This time they called me back immediately, and I interviewed, and I actually got the job. I was 51 years old. This software company hired me to do all their online marketing for 20 different countries around the world. They did the search engine optimization and online ads. And it was like the perfect job for me. It was like 5 miles from home, gave me the stability because I had 2 children in college at the time. So it was just perfect. It couldn't have been better. So from 2009 through 2013, in 3.5 years, this company grew from $25 million to $125 million, which this was the worst economy of our lifetime. The whole economy tanked, businesses were struggling, and here this software company took off because they had a software product. Once you invested in it up front, your ongoing maintenance was significantly lower, so companies wouldn't have to have a large staff of programmers to maintain their website. Once it was implemented, really administrative people could update the website. So this was right timing for this company. They took off like crazy. Then they got venture capital investment. They're ready to go public. They're like, oh, we've got investment. We're going to go public. But guess what? They fired us. The agent of the financial institution that came in and invested in this company wanted to bring in their own marketing agency because they said we weren't, we're small company marketers. They didn't think we were up to the task. They wanted to bring in this large agency that could take them to the enterprise level. So all of us literally were walked out the door one day, and it was devastating. Another setback. 3 times in 12 years, I had really huge career setbacks after a 20-year successful career. So at that point, I was really reeling. And I realized I needed to do something with my business where I could ride through these peaks and troughs of the recession. Because the economy's always going up and down. There's always recessions, then there's expansions, then there's recessions. It's just the way it works. So I had to figure out, how can I really tailor my business so I wouldn't have to ride these downs as much. I was really struggling. After really 20 years of success, I was just riding this roller coaster of up and down, up and down. It gets difficult. You're probably thinking, what the heck does LinkedIn have to do with all this? Well, here's where my business is at today. It's growing steadily. So instead of like the tortoise and the hare, I was like the hare before. I was like on fire. I was riding the wave, really fast. Up and down, up and down. And it was, it worked well. But after 3 big setbacks, I wanted some stability. I wanted some slow growth, slow, steady growth to get me to that point of retirement in 5 to 10 years. So I realized when I was growing my business, I was going to local networking events. I was in the Chamber of Commerce. I was in BNI, Business Networking International. I would go meet every week, meet people face to face, shake hands, and then we would trade leads. So it was a great way to grow my business. It got me, a successful business, but I was fishing out of a very small pond. I was fishing out local. So it was about 50 people in our networking group. So, it kept me busy, kept things going. But it wasn't huge deals. It was just slow and steady, but it wasn't putting me over the top. And the bad news was when the economy would turn, these are small business owners who would stop investing in their business, or they'd even go out of business. So it just was I was riding that roller coaster because of this. But now using LinkedIn, I'm connecting with people all over the world. I have clients in Australia, the UK, Italy, United States, Canada. So I'm fishing out of this ocean now. I have potential to work with people all over the world because of LinkedIn. So when the next downturn comes in the economy, I should have more stability and be able to ride it out because I'm building a bigger, stronger foundation for my business. And it's all because of LinkedIn. So here's the 4-step system I've been talking about. It's AIDA. First, you got to grab their attention. As we know today, we were like bombarded with marketing message. We're all busy. We really need to somehow stand out from the crowd, grab their attention. Then once we get their attention, we need to build their interest. So get them interested in us. Get them to know, like, and trust us. And once they know, like, and trust us, we want to create a desire. So they want to hire us when the time is right. So you're not going to always get business right away. You've got to go through this process. Got to get their attention, generate interest, create the desire, and then persuade them to take action. So by focusing on these 4 steps over and over and over throughout with people all over the world, I'm like literally casting a net all over the world instead of just in this 50-person networking group. So here's AIDA in LinkedIn. Step 1, we got to grab their attention. You need to stand out from the other 370 million LinkedIn users. You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. This is from Will Rogers. And think about that. You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. They say when people come to your website, they decide in 2 seconds or less whether they're going to stay there or not. You need to make that incredibly good first impression with your website. And your LinkedIn profile, it's the same exact thing. They're going to look at your profile. They'll see you on the sidebar of LinkedIn. And if you don't make a good first impression, they're going to just go right by you and go on to the next person. So think about when you go to the store. And whenever I have allergies or I'm looking for something for a headache. You go into the grocery store or the drugstore, and it's like you're overwhelmed like this. Like the guy's trying to buy olive oil. There's like 20 different kinds to choose from. Years ago, there would be 2 or 3 options. Now we have like literally hundreds of options for everything we do. Like, which one's better? How do I know which one's better? So I don't know if you've ever seen these eye tracking studies, but they actually put like little goggles on people, put them in front of a computer screen and show them different websites, and they track where their eyes go. And almost always, at least when you're in countries that read left to right, first place you go is top left corner, and then you kind of shoot over to the right a little bit and you go down. So it's like an F, kind of a broken F pattern. So this is where your eyes naturally go based on that. So think about your LinkedIn profile. Where do you look first? Top left corner. So here's a search result for marketing. So I'm in the marketing industry. Almost 28 million people have the word marketing in their profile. So how am I going to stand out from those 28 million people? That's a pretty daunting task. But actually, it's not that hard, because what I'm going to show you here is most people make the same mistake. Probably 99% of people on LinkedIn make the same mistake over and over and over again. So take a look at these people: Robin Frank, Marco Marini, Karen Leland. Do they stand out? They have the word marketing in their profile, but does anything make you stand out? Here is the most important section of your profile. Using that eye tracking study, what are they going to see first? They're going to see your picture. So you need a professional headshot with a smiling face with you looking at the camera, looking right at them. So they get to know, like, and trust you right away. Then they're going to see your name. And here I have LinkedIn Coach, and I've had to remove that now, but don't use too much information in there. Don't put all of your abbreviations, all the accreditations and certifications you have, because it just clutters it up. Then the next step is your professional headline, they call it. It's 120 characters. And what you want to do is, this is where you grab their attention right away. 99% of people use either their job title and where they work, their company name, or a series of keyword phrases. So I'm going to show you some examples here on how you can stand out, and some people that don't stand out. They're making big mistakes, but this is going to be traveling all over LinkedIn, like in a little personal ad, a little Google ad that you see on the right side of your Google searches. This is going to follow people around all over LinkedIn, and this is how you make that great first impression. So your goal is to make them want to click on your profile to learn more. I've been doing online advertising for 12 years now. My job is to write ads that make people click on those ads so they can learn more. So your job is to write a LinkedIn profile that makes them want to click on your profile to learn more. And the more profile views I get on LinkedIn, the more business I get. It's direct correlation. So if I can get 100 people a day to look at my profile, that many people potentially could call me up or set appointments with me. So here's Rob Brown. He's a friend of mine. He teaches financial advisors how to grow their business. So if you're a financial advisor and you read Rob's professional headline, growing the businesses of financial advisors 30% or more per year, guaranteed. Would you click on that to learn more about Rob? I sure want to grow my business 30% or more, guaranteed. So John Carlton's a famous copywriter, and he has a so what test. So he teaches when you write the title of an ad or the title of an article that you're writing or a sales letter, read that professional headline or that headline. Ask yourself, so what? Does that professional headline compel me in any way to click on the profile and learn more about them? Can this person help solve my problem? So use that so what test as you read through people's LinkedIn profiles. Most people talk about themselves. I don't care about you. I care about a problem I have. What keeps me up at night? I need a solution to my problem. And me reading that you've been to certain schools or you've had a lot of experience doesn't really grab my attention. So here's some examples. Now I'm going to warn you now because I don't know. I may be using your profile as an example. It's just for a learning experience. And I use this disclaimer because one time I was doing a live presentation and I used a woman's profile as an example, and she was actually in the audience. It was kind of embarrassing, but she learned from it and she changed her profile and she's getting much better results now. So think about this. As you look at these profiles, use that 2-second rule. Would you want to do business with this person? Just in 2 seconds, decide yes or no. So yes or no, would you do business with Kenny? Kenny Culver's living the dream. He's got his gold teeth. He lives in Tampa. Using the so what test, does he add any value to my network? Is he going to help me solve any problems? I'd say no. So Robin Frank, yes or no? Would you do business with Robin Frank? She's got a good friendly picture. Some of those backgrounds, the professional background may be a little better. The trees can kind of distract you sometimes. So make sure if you use an outdoor background, it doesn't distract from your picture. So then I see a picture of her background. It's like, is that her son? It's like, okay, I get the impression she does work with children or she does some work with, I'm not sure. So reading her professional headline, this is a bunch of keyword phrases like I mentioned. Founder of Reboot Camp. So what? What's Reboot Camp? Personal branding. So what? What's that? Social media. What does she do? Does she coach it? Does she do it for me? Is she an expert? Is she an author? What's content strategy? What's a speaker? What kind of speaker? Are you a keynote speaker? Do you speak at women's events? Do you speak at family events? And her job is Reboot Camp for Moms. She's a LinkedIn profile creation, social media consulting. So she's like, I call this throwing spaghetti at the wall. So it's just throwing a bunch of keywords out there, and if one of them sticks, you may want to talk to her. So if you're looking for a social media consultant, maybe you'd want to click on this. But see, it's just distracting. It's not focused. Here's Joe. Now, he's in financial services, and Joe wants to manage your money, but he won't show us his picture. Would you really want to trust your life savings with Joe? He's not even going to let me see his picture. Here's Stefan. See, he's a JD, he's an attorney, and he's a CFP, Certified Financial Planner. He's a wealth manager, financial advisor, LPL Financial. I say, so what? Look, he wants to manage your life savings, but he's using a webcam to do a selfie. He won't even spend a couple $100s to get a professional photo taken. So that, in my mind, I'm thinking, this guy's not that serious. You may have different opinions on these too, and I'd love to hear them. So if you do have opinions, you can email me at ted@tedbodromo.com. I'd love to hear it. So here's Kathy Lucas. She's got a professional photo. This is great. She's got CIMA, CFP, CPA. It's like, so what? For me, what's CIMA? I have no idea. CFP, Certified Financial Planner, and a CPA. I know those, but see what happens when you use too many of these? You're going to cover this in the experience section. Your certifications are covered lower down in your profile. So you want to grab their attention. And she's a financial advisor to Ameriprise Financial Services. So what? When I do a search on LinkedIn for financial advisors, there's over 200,000. So how do you stand out from those 200,000? What makes you different? Why are you better? Why would I want to hire you? Here's Scott Stanley, helping you pursue your investment and financial goals. I like that. That's really good. He says, wealth advisor. I'm not sure if we need the wealth advisor in Novato, California, Marin County. He's trying to get his location, but they can work with anybody in the country, or at least in California. It depends how you're licensed, but not sure it's that important to have your location there. But see, Scott's got a nice picture, except he's got a creepy little hand on his shoulder. He's got somebody in the background. He just cropped this out. So Scott needs to really step up and spend $100 or $200 or $300 or whatever it costs for a professional headshot where you live, because he wants to manage your life savings, but he's not willing to invest a couple $100s in his business. So that raises a red flag for me personally. Here's Stan Mann. He's the results coach. I help financial professionals get more profitable clients and the freedom to work the way they want. I like that. If I'm a financial professional, I want more profitable clients. I want the freedom to work the way I want. I'm not sure if I need to have a free consultation in my tagline there, because you can offer that down in your summary section, but it's as good at grabbing attention. He's a results coach. What's a results coach? You're going to get results if you work with Stan. He's got a good picture too, so I like this. I would drop the financial or free consultation though. Rhonda, want to have the same standard of living as you have before you retire, if not better? Hell yeah, I do. Don't you? Everybody does. So this is going to make me want to click. She's got a nice, friendly, smiling face. She's got a nice, the background's blurred, so that's good. If you're going to use a natural background, you want it to look like this. So this one, I would click to learn more about her. Now, I'm not saying, people don't go to LinkedIn to find financial advisors for the most part. Most of the time, they're referrals. So financial advisors primarily use their LinkedIn to connect with other people that are going to refer each other business. So it's more of a referral network business, but you never know. And also, if somebody recommends Rhonda to me, what's the first thing I'm going to do? As I said before, I'm going to go to LinkedIn and check out her profile. So if somebody refers Rhonda to me, this is going to grab my attention and say, okay, I want to learn more about how Rhonda can manage my money. Would you do business with Robert Middleton? Yes or no? He's got a nice smiling picture. And this is a big blown up screenshot, so it's a little blurry, but you could have used a higher resolution photo probably. But he's helping independent professionals attract more high-end clients. And I've been on Robert's email list forever. I've taken lots of his courses. I've bought his books. He helps people like me, independent consultants, grow their business. He teaches marketing. He's very, very good at what he does. So he works at Action Plan Marketing. So this is a great example of a profile that gets results. And then we got these people like, holy cow, he's got my attention. Look at his name, CST, LEB, FSD. What I do is help people. This is all in his last name field. So if you actually search for Byron Nelson, he probably wouldn't come up in LinkedIn because he's got so much information in his last name field. So he's the owner at BNN, SRK, LSC, business consultants. Get more help with medical issues, energy options, financial situations, and more. So he can do everything for you. This is really scary. And a picture of him, man, would you let this person do surgery on you while he's managing your energy investments and financial situations? He's just all over the place. This is scary. So he got my attention, but lost my interest when he has all this distraction on there. I have no idea what he does. Okay, we got their attention. Now it's time to get them interested in you. So first step is like whenever you see an online ad and you click on it, you say you're searching for something for your home, searching for a new camera maybe. So you see, okay, here's the newest digital cameras. Here's the top 10 digital cameras. And you see an ad and you click on it. Now you need to get their interest. What camera? Hone in on this. Hit the bullseye. I said this earlier. The more people that view my LinkedIn profile, the more sales I make. It's a direct correlation. And many, many, many people have told me this too. It's like the more people that come to my LinkedIn profile and the clearer my profile is, the more sales I get. So, if you can get a lot of profile views, but if you have one of those terrible profiles or you don't stand out from the crowd, your sales aren't necessarily going to go up. So here's one of the tools LinkedIn includes. And if you have a premium account, which I highly recommend, you actually get more data here. But they give you a little teaser with the free accounts. They show you how many people have viewed your profile in the last 90 days. And what's really cool is when you hover over that, you see mine has gone up and down. It was trending up through April. Then I went on the road for 3 straight weeks promoting my new LinkedIn book. And look, the activity dropped off because I wasn't as active on LinkedIn every morning. And then I got back and I started, my trending went up again. And then I went away again for a week. And see, so there's a direct correlation on my activity in the mornings. I've spent about 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon on LinkedIn. and I get those results. So what they do when you hover over it, here I did 129 actions. I had 174 profile views that week, up 7% from the previous week. And then my actions taken, up 22% from the previous week. I added 102 connections, shared updates, endorsed people, liked an update. So they tell you exactly what actions you're taking to generate these profile views. So you find out what's working and do more of it. And then you can focus on those tasks that are getting you the right profile views. Very, very, very powerful. So where does your professional headline appear? This is what I was talking about. We've all seen Google ads. We've seen online ads. Why do they stand out? Why do some stand out and some don't? And how do you get them? Imagine if you could have free Google ads promoting your business all over the internet. You get free ads on LinkedIn essentially by having your profile show up, because the LinkedIn algorithm looks at your profile, all your skills, your education, your industry, where you work, and it matches you up with similar people and potential people that you should connect with. So the algorithm is putting your ad, your little LinkedIn ad all over the place. So here I search for LinkedIn coach and there's 33,000 results. So how do I stand out? I'm always testing this too. It's really important to change your profile, once a month or so, your professional headline, to see what's getting more profile views. When I had LinkedIn coach in my name field, I got a lot of people saying, hey, what's a LinkedIn coach? Can you help me with LinkedIn? It worked great, but LinkedIn made a change and we're not allowed to add that to our name field anymore. But I do have it in other sections of my profile. So here, when I just come to my LinkedIn homepage, see Deborah Jason. She's a copywriting services professional speaker, direct response copywriter. Now, she's using the keyword approach, which, it can work. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that doesn't make me stand out. What's copywriting services? What's a professional speaker? What kind? What kind of direct response copywriter? You got to get very, very, very focused there so the right people click on it. Instead of having 100 people click on your profile that aren't targeted, I'd rather have 2 or 3 people instead of 100 click on it if they're the right people that I want as ideal clients. So it's important that you know who your ideal client is in great detail so you can really hone in on them. So on the right side of LinkedIn, in the sidebar, there's also the algorithm provides this as people also viewed these people based on all that criteria in each other's profiles. So here they are. They're all using the same approach. It's kind of the keyword strategy. Just throw spaghetti at the wall and try to grab their attention. So Sydney's a digital marketing agency. She's a small business marketing coach, supplier diversity specialist, content marketing strategist. Using that so what approach, I was like, okay, that's like she does a lot of different stuff. But imagine you needed brain surgery. Would you want to go to a general practitioner doctor or a brain surgeon? So if you want help with like social media marketing, you want to go to a social media marketing expert, not a overall general online marketing expert. So Maggie's a marketing coach and copywriter, speak and write, so your ideal clients know why they need you. Free report at my website. Now I like that. I would take the marketing coach and copywriter out and say, speak and write so your ideal clients know why they need you. I wouldn't even say the free report, because once they click on your profile, you can offer that in the summary. So grab their attention with that headline. They see the others are just kind of random bunch of words. So think about how this is going to stand out, how you can be different from your competition. How do you help people? What's your benefit statement? So also the algorithm matches you up called people similar to Deborah. So based on Deborah's profile, copywriting and marketing, other people are showing up here on the side. And as you hover over each picture, the first part of your professional headline shows up. So it's really important in that first half of your professional headline to have some really coherent words that make people want to click more. So Megan's the mistress of marketing at Megan, and she, probably at Megan Contour Consulting or something. But see, she's mistress of marketing. That's good. That's going to make me want to click. I say, what's the mistress of marketing? And then here we have Kelly, social media trainer, professional social media, something. So that doesn't stand out. It doesn't grab my attention. Think about how you can stand out from the people you're competing against. So when you post in groups, here's a fresh sales strategies group. Joel Conrath runs this great group. I highly recommend joining it. But Joel uses the keyword method too, sales keynote speaker. So instead of saying just keynote speaker, she's saying sales keynote speaker, sales accelerator, author of 3 best-selling books, sales blog with 125,000. So, those are great things to put. If you're going to use a keyword strategy, this is a good example. She's clear on how she can help you. Then when Kurt Newman, he commented or he posted something in the comments, sales capability expert to boost sales performance. Now, technically, it's against the terms of service to add your email address or website in your professional headlines, so be careful with that. But I like sales capability expert to boost sales performance. It tells me how he can help me. And here's Karen, business development manager, making great company known and recognized as a leader in staffing industry. So that's better than just a job title and your company name. So it's giving some information about how you can help people. So here, when people click on my profile, when they see it in the sidebar or in group comments, this is the first impression I make. And I had this little background made by a graphic designer. I've gotten great feedback on it. Really helps people. They know I'm America's leading LinkedIn coach. Also a #1 best-selling author. My book was #1 on Amazon for 5 straight weeks in 3 different categories. And I help you close more deals with less effort. This is what I'm using currently. I'm always testing it. So if you look at my website today or my LinkedIn profile today, it may be different. So test and see which gets more profile views. And better yet, which ones get you more customers. So as I scroll through my profile, this is content I've posted on LinkedIn Publisher and as status updates. But these are all articles I've written. So you can see they get an idea. I'm trying to build that interest now. I got their attention. They clicked on my profile. Now this is how I start building the foundation to get them to know, like, and trust me. These are all different things I've written over the past year. So then my summary says, if you're not getting results you want from LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Google, let me know. Let me help. I'm a leading LinkedIn coach, social media strategist, and online lead generation expert. I invite them to schedule time with me or call me. And people actually do call me and schedule 30-minute consultations. So then I tell you what I can do for people. Then below that, I have content that I've posted. Some of these are YouTube videos. Some are like little lessons on how to use LinkedIn advertising or Twitter advertising. Some are PowerPoint presentations. So I put those on slideshare.net and YouTube and pull them from my website. So it's a lot of content I've written, trying to build that trust, trying to generate interest. So I got their attention and interest. Now we get into the experience section, and here's where you put in keywords in your job titles. LinkedIn coach. And I tell what a LinkedIn coach and who I work with. Trying to build that interest. Award-winning author of Ultimate Guide. Excuse me. Best-selling author of Ultimate Guide to Twitter for Business. LinkedIn lead generation. I have a LinkedIn Accelerator training course. So as I scroll through, remember, people don't read everything in great detail anymore. We all scan. So you want to grab that attention with these headlines, with the job titles and the publication project titles. Publications, you can put your books in there. So as they scan through my profile, they're seeing that I am an expert in social media. I'm an expert. I have 3 published books now in social media by a major publisher. And I have lots of experience. I have lots of content that demonstrates my expertise. So now I got their attention, got their interest. Now I want to build that desire. So how do you build desire? This is people out there clamoring to get something. Now, do you ever feel like everyone is trying to sell you something on LinkedIn? It's like anything in life, even before the internet, people find something that works, and then everybody jumps on the bandwagon and overdoes it and oversaturates it and just drives you crazy. Now, this is the biggest mistake I see people make on LinkedIn. They try to sell you something. They connect with you. It's like if you meet someone in person and they hand you a business card, then you shake hands, say, good to meet you, and they start talking about themselves. They say, how many they're top salesman in their company and they drive a Ferrari and they have $1 million house and they belong to this exclusive golf club. What do you think? You just want to get away from that person as fast as you can because they just don't stop talking about themselves. They've shown no interest in you. You got to show interest in other people and just put all the attention on them when you're trying to sell something. People do business with people they like, they know, like, and trust. I mean, this is the tried and true rule. I'm not going to do business. I'm not going to write you a check or give you my credit card until I know, like, and trust you. People don't come to LinkedIn to buy. This is what they think there's a quick way to get by, like social media. They think it gives a license to spam people and blast content out there. Same thing. When you connect with someone on LinkedIn, I'm not on LinkedIn to buy from anything. If I'm looking to hire somebody, I'm going to start searching. But that's a whole different approach. I don't try to sell on LinkedIn. People come to LinkedIn to build relationships. That's the bottom line. It's like, I want to meet people, get to know, like, and trust them, and then refer business to them. I refer so much business to people on LinkedIn, it's not funny. And I don't try to sell, but if I refer business to you, you're going to reciprocate eventually and send me business or hire me. So if you focus on building these relationships, sales will follow. So how not to engage? This is what I'm saying. This is the biggest mistake people are making on LinkedIn. They're like, as soon as we connect, it's like blast away. But buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. And actually, one of the first internet marketing courses I took like 12 years ago, this is the concept they taught us. They said, you build an email list, you give away a free report, get people to fill out the form, you get them into your email autoresponder. And then this teacher actually said this. You send them 10 emails a day, every day, and you promote affiliate products. So they're either going to buy from you or die. That's exactly the terms he words. Buy or die. Blast them, blast them, blast them. If they buy, great, you're making money. If they unsubscribe, great, they're not a good customer. It's like, that is the worst approach I've ever heard in business in my life. And that's what they're teaching to thousands of people. So here's someone I connected with. And instead of trying to build a relationship with me, what does she do? She sends a mass email to me through LinkedIn, which you can send up to 50 people. But when you do this, you want to make it personal. So what's she doing? Have a couple minutes. I highly recommend, check this out. And she's just trying to sell me anything. She's nothing about, hey, I want to get to know you. And there's a little box at the bottom of the email. When you do this, you can uncheck it so you don't show that you're sending a mass email. So this one made a huge, huge, huge mistake. So here's another one. He starts out great. Hey, I love what you're doing. I was like, oh, that got my attention. So I kept reading. I've been in business for a few years. And then he starts saying, are you open to an additional income stream? Big red flag goes off in my head. He's like, okay, he's going to try and sell me into some multi-level marketing thing now. Here's our project now. Your Perfect Business. It's not even a correct URL. www.yourperfectbusiness.business. Afterwards, I'd like to do an interview with you. Contact me. You are amazing. It's like, okay, he's like complimenting me. That's good. But he's trying to sell me something. He's not trying to build a relationship with me. He's not trying to get to know, like, and trust me. This is just part of the email. Right after I connected with somebody, they sent me this. It goes on and on and on and talks about them, their franchise model. He's trying to sell me a franchise. Like, nothing in my profile says I'm interested in franchises. I've never owned a franchise. I never will own a franchise. And he's just blasting away. It's like, sorry, I'm not interested. I actually had somebody recently, about a year ago now. I connected with him on LinkedIn. And she says in her profile, she does websites for Christians or Christian websites for Christian churches. And I said, okay, I know I refer a lot of business to web designers and vice versa, so it's a good connection. So the minute I connected, literally within a minute, my phone rang. And this woman says, hey, do you need any help with your LinkedIn? I'm like, no, did you read my profile? She goes, yeah, I read your profile. We do LinkedIn coaching. We do LinkedIn consulting. Would you like any help with your LinkedIn? I said, well, I thought your profile said you did Christian websites. Oh, yeah, we do that too, but we do LinkedIn consulting. I said, well, did you read my profile? I'm a LinkedIn coach. I'm a LinkedIn author. I'm an award-winning LinkedIn author and best-selling LinkedIn author. And just, oh. So she put me on hold for a second, and her boss got online. And he starts trying to sell me LinkedIn consulting services. Like, you guys got to read my profile because I am a LinkedIn coach. I'm one of your competitors if you're then, and your profile doesn't say anything about LinkedIn consulting. It says, oh, well, do you have extra business you can refer to me? I'm like, you're kidding me. We just met online a few seconds ago, and you're trying to get me to give you business. Like, it was the most unbelievable experience. Then they had to call me like a month later. Say, hey, we haven't talked in a month. Are you interested in our LinkedIn consulting services? Like, you've got to be kidding me. And unfortunately, I don't know who's teaching this, but it doesn't work. You may get a client now and then, but you don't get long-term clients. It's not any way to do business. This is how you do business. You engage this way. So Kirk just sent this message. We connected. Hey, thanks for connecting with me. I look forward to learning more about you and your business. If you'd like to connect with anyone in my network, I'd be happy to be a resource for you. In the meantime, if there's anything I can do to help you, please don't hesitate to ask. That's building a relationship. He's not selling me anything. He says, hey, if you notice anyone in my network, you want to meet them, I'll introduce you. I'll help you in any way I can. This is how you build relationships. And Christoph, thanks for connecting. I'd love to meet new people and learn more about them. It's a great way to connect and exchange ideas. Tell me more about yourself, all the fun things you like to do, and of course, about your work or business. Have a nice day. Doesn't say anything about himself. Doesn't say anything about his business. He's not trying to sell me anything. He wants to get to know more about me. This is how you build long-term successful businesses. Here we go. Leverage LinkedIn more. Mike Rogers. So he's interested. I viewed his profile. This is one of the tricks I teach in my LinkedIn classes. When you view people's profiles, they'll say, notice that, because LinkedIn tells you so-and-so reviewed your profile. So I reviewed his profile, and he wants to add me as a connection. He wants to connect with me. And then he wants to follow and learn about what I'm sharing about LinkedIn. So he's in the process of entering his social selling, and he's looking for ways to make his profile better. So he actually turned into a client of mine because I viewed his profile, and he came back and wanted me to join and connect with me. So he customized the message, and we've built a relationship. And now with Nationwide Insurance, I can potentially work with other agents that are in his office. So just that little simple thing, build relationships. And here's another way. If you haven't connected with people in a while, what happens when you get someone's business card at a meeting? You usually take it home and put it in the drawer, and about once a year you empty out those cards and throw them away. You never call that person back. You never email them. You may add them as a LinkedIn connection, but you never follow up. And think about how many LinkedIn connections you have. If you have 1,000 LinkedIn connections, how many do you actually email on a regular basis and follow up with and just kind of reach out to? Probably not too many. So here, Mike says, hey, it's been a few months since we last connected. I want to reach out and say hi and ask you how you've been doing without asking for anything in return. Hope you're doing well. Have a great week. Take care. Mike. He doesn't need 3 different endings there, but it's a great way to get back on people's radar. You just kind of put it back in there. Then he looks at my profile and says, I look at Mike, says, well, maybe I need Mike right now. Say you need some repair work done on your business, on your house, and all of a sudden this contractor appears somewhere. It's like, I need to get my porch fixed. So you work with that person. Same thing with LinkedIn. Get on people's radar periodically just by sending a short little message saying, hey, if you have any questions or need any help, let me know. I'm here to help. So here's another way to get on people's radar. This is really silly, but it works like crazy. And Facebook, we have whenever you say happy birthday to someone, they seem to really, they like that. People love it when it's their birthday. They love it when people say happy birthday to them. Same thing with LinkedIn. You wouldn't think on a professional network it would be the same, but when somebody gets a new job, when you send them a little message, say congratulations. My friend Danny Brissell here, he updated his LinkedIn profile, He'd been an instructor. He's a college professor for over 23 years at the same college. He just updated his LinkedIn profile, and LinkedIn sent out this message saying, "Hey, Danny's got a new job." Over 1,000 people said, "Congratulations on your new job, Danny." And he was like saying, "Hey, I don't have a new job. I just changed something in my profile." But he got back on the radar of over 1,000 people. And they actually took a second or two to congratulate him on that job. So whenever you congratulate people or say happy birthday, which takes literally seconds, it gets you back on their radar. So take a few minutes a day, spend 5 minutes a day going through this section. And it's called Who's Viewed Your, or Keep in Touch, it's called. Do this for 5 minutes a day, and you're going to get back on the radar of maybe 100 people a week. Also, people publish a lot of content on LinkedIn. Like, share, and comment on their content. They get notified every time you do that. It gets you back on their radar. And when I write an article and people comment and congratulate me or like it and share it, makes me feel good and makes me trust that person even more. So it builds relationships, and it only takes a few seconds. So next, we want to take action. So my goal is to get people on the phone because I sell high-end consulting services. You really can't close those through email. It's harder. And I just like to get on the phone and see if it's a fit. I don't like to just, blindly approach people. So once we start talking, I can learn more about them, learn about their business, what their desires are. And sometimes it's not a fit, sometimes it is. But once you get them on the phone, you start building that relationship even deeper. So however you close people for your deals, this is your goal. So first you get their AIDA, get their attention, get their interest, generate desire, get them to take action. So that's it. It's been working for hundreds of years. It's just tried and true process. The internet didn't exist forever. So before the internet, it worked. It works now with the internet, and it's even working better on the internet now because so many people are doing this blast away approach instead of building relationships. So you can stand out from the crowd so easily by just using AIDA. So get their attention, make them interested in you, create desire, and get them to take action. Close them. It's that simple. So in 10 years, LinkedIn may be gone. Look at all the internet sites that were around at the beginning of the internet in the 90s. If you remember those days, a lot of those have come and gone. Remember Friendster? There was, before Facebook, there was something called Friendster. There was AOL. Remember AOL? Everybody had little CDs they put in their computers in the 90s. That's all gone now. So in 10 years, is Google going to be around, or LinkedIn? Who knows? But people still do business with people they know, like, and trust. That'll always be the truth. And AIDA will always work. So, you ready for some more? I mean, we've covered a lot here. I've given you the fire hose approach, but it's really, you boil it down to relationships. Business success equals strong relationships. So what's that new client worth to your business? Is it $1,000? Is it $10,000? Is it $100,000? So what is that number? Now imagine if we could use LinkedIn and get a new client every week or one a month, depending on the size of your business. Could imagine what would that do for your business if you had one new client a week, or even one a day if you're really, really aggressive and you're selling, maybe lower tiered products. Just like LinkedIn is like an ATM. You can literally spend some time on LinkedIn every day, build those relationships, and you can get a steady stream of business. So would you be interested in having me help you land at least one new client in the next 30 days? So if that client's worth $100,000 or $10,000, I will hold your hand and guide you through the process. Was that any interest to you? So I have a Linked Accelerator training program, and it's really kind of takes my AID approach. But first we do LinkedIn strategy, because if you don't know who you're looking for and what you're going to do with LinkedIn, like any social media, you can waste a lot of time. So I help you create your LinkedIn strategy, and you have a daily plan. So every day you get on LinkedIn, here's what I'm going to do. You have it all mapped out, and the strategy will drive them into your funnel. So you use AIDA to close more business. Then the second session is building your LinkedIn foundation. That's where we work on your profile. So people will scan your profile, and in seconds, they'll know, like, and trust you. Then we grab their attention, so they click on your profile, they read through your profile or scan through their profile, and you can catch their attention, so they want to learn more about you and get on the phone with you. Then session 3, we talk about building your LinkedIn network. Now this is, some people say I only want a small network. Some people want a very large network. Some people want in between. That all comes back to your LinkedIn strategy. I teach you how to build your network with the right people, so you get referrals and you keep referring each other business, or you can just expand your network very wide and let the LinkedIn algorithm get your profile in front of millions of people every day, literally. So then session 4, we use LinkedIn to become an industry authority, and this is the whole publishing. So you're putting your content, like when I showed you in my profile, I have lots of content distributed all over the internet, and it's all tied together at LinkedIn in my profile. So it makes people perceive me as a LinkedIn expert. And then session 5, we talk about advanced LinkedIn strategies. There's LinkedIn mobile applications. There's how to research, how to set up automated searches that deliver you leads every week. There's just endless. So I take you beyond the basics and help you really hone in on your ideal client and automatically deliver those leads right to you. So you can spend minimal time on LinkedIn every day and get tremendous results. So here are some of the people I've worked with. Elizabeth is a good friend of mine, Elizabeth McCormick. She's a former U.S. Army Black Hawk pilot, and she's the best-selling author, and she speaks. So we kind of tweaked her LinkedIn profile, and almost immediately she got an in-mail from an HR director at Sherwin-Williams to speak at their training events. So she's doing business with a Fortune 500 company just because we worked on her profile, literally for a few minutes. And now Elizabeth speaks over 100 events a year, and she charges $5,000 minimum for her speaking. And what she also does with LinkedIn is, if she's going to be speaking in Chicago at one event, she'll research LinkedIn to find other events to speak. So with one flight, sometimes she speaks at 3 or 4 events within a few days, which really compresses her time. So she doesn't have to spend 100 days a year on the road, and she's getting maximum value from each trip. So she's just absolutely killing it, and I'm so proud of her, and she's doing a fantastic job. And LinkedIn is really a lot of the core of her strategy. And Craig Petronella, he has a computer consulting business, IT consulting and cloud services. So we optimized his profile, and with the first 30 days of working together, he added 208 connections. He's top 20% of the pros like me, and he's actually better than that now. He's in the top 5%. I just talked to him the other day. And we took some of his ads from Facebook and put them on LinkedIn, and he got 7 leads the first day he turned on the ads. So Craig is really using LinkedIn. He's very aggressive at creating content. He's really, really building his business, and his goal is to grow 50% this year, and he's well on his way to doing that because he's using LinkedIn to make people perceive him as a cloud computing and IT security expert. It's all because his profile is optimized and he's showing up in the right places. Andy Peterson works for Kahuna Business Systems, and they do accounting services for attorneys, and they help them with Xero software. And what they've done, they've created a whole online marketing strategy, and the foundation is on LinkedIn. We've really helped them, everybody in their company, grow their business, make that good first impression on LinkedIn, and their phone is ringing off the hook. They're growing like crazy. So again, I have that 5-step strategy. Really, it uses the AIDEA process. But I really think, create that strategy, build your foundation. Imagine building a house and not having a strong foundation. It's not going to work very well. Then you build your network, which would be your house, on top of the foundation. Establish yourself as a perceived expert in your industry, and use these advanced LinkedIn strategies to automate the process. So every morning you can wake up and you have leads delivered. Your phone will be ringing off the hook. Your inbox will be full of appointments. This stuff works. I've been doing it for 5 years, and I've really honed down the system so you can spend minimal time, get maximum value. I don't know if you have Frank Kern, but he is the top internet marketer. He's generated millions and millions of dollars for his clients. He works with Fortune 50 companies now. He used to work with them individuals, but now he works with just very large corporations. He fine-tunes their online marketing process. And I showed him my process. I gave him my book, and he says, you've got to be charging at least $5,000 per program. And I've been through $10,000 coaching programs with Frank. And, it's definitely worth it. And I actually charged $2,000 for my live 2-day LinkedIn workshop. So, I didn't get to the $5,000 level yet, but I'm at $2,000 for the live event. And I also record a lot of online webinar series. And I charge $500 for that. So it's a 5-week class. People pay $500 for it. We get one webinar a week. But now I'm selling the recordings of this. So this is the full live webinar version, and it's only $197. So not $2,000, not $5,000, but you get all of my training. I hold nothing back. It's just $197 for these videos that you watch at your leisure. So here's my guarantee. I say you will close at least one new client during this program. I will continue to work with you until we do. Now, my mentors say I'm crazy for offering this because it can take up so much of my time, but I've been doing this for 3 years now, these online classes, and not one person has ever taken me up on this satisfaction guarantee. So I provide real results for people, and if you don't feel comfortable, you really need my help, I will be there to guide you, to get you to that one new client. So if your client's worth $10,000 or $100,000, I will continue working with you until you close that deal. You have to do the closing. I don't do the closing, but I get you to build that LinkedIn foundation, get the AIDA process up and running, so you have a series of leads coming in that'll help you close those deals. And for people to take advantage of this today, I will give you an autographed copy of my LinkedIn book. This is my #1 bestseller on Amazon for 5 straight weeks in 3 different categories. It's breaking records for LinkedIn books. It's the most popular LinkedIn book out there right now. And I will autograph a copy and send it to you personally. So here it is, session 1, build your strategy, build your foundation, build your network, become an industry authority, and those advanced LinkedIn strategies, plus my autographed book. Just $197. So go to tedprodromo.com/ninja, and let's get started right away. Thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you learned something here, and I just can't wait to start working with you.